Hi everybody, welcome back to another video, and welcome if you are new. And if you're new, I would love it if you would stick around and subscribe. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into today's video. So today I will be filming the Back to the Future tag, which is actually a book tag created by one of my friends on book Twitter and booktube, who is Maddie from Read by Maddie, and I will leave her channel and her original video to this linked below. Yeah, in her video she said that you can pick, for these questions, you can pick a book that you've already read or a book that you want to read. So I have mostly books that I've already read and then one book that I want to read. So yeah, let's get into the questions. The first question is a book that's set in the 80s, and this book is the book that I'm going to choose for this is My Best Friend's Exorcism. I think that's how you say that. I hope so. And also I'm pretty sure that this book is set in the 80s because the cover looks like it's set in the 80s. I don't own it yet, so I will put it on the screen here. Yeah, it just sounds very like, I've heard that it's really funny. So yeah, I really want to read that book. So the next question is to read a book that's set in the future. And so for this question, I have The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, and I recently reread this series. Well, I guess it wasn't like that recently because it was in like May or April. I thought it was fitting, especially because the new like prequel book is coming out next year. So I love the Hunger Games series, and well, Mockingjay is like but I love the Hunger Games series, and yeah, and it's set in like the future, like a future dystopian world. The next question is your favorite trilogy. So most of the books that I read are actually in like longer series than trilogies, so I don't really think I've read like completed that many trilogies. So this question was kind of hard for me, and so at first I was just like, can I just say Nevernight by J. Kristoff, even though I've only read the first book because I loved this book so much. But then I remembered The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare, and I actually have read all of the books in this series, so I feel like I'm cheating less by choosing this book. Yeah, this is my favorite trilogy that I've completed, and it's also my favorite Cassandra Clare series, especially just because I love Tessa. I love how she's still like a strong character, but she's not just like loud and impulsive and that kind of thing, because I feel like especially like YA heroines tend to be that just like warrior, like go get 'em impulsive type, but there are ways to be strong that's not just that. So, and also, of course, I love Will and Jim. And this is like my favorite love triangle because a lot of the times I don't really like love triangles, but I love this one. So yeah, I love this trilogy so much. I've only read it twice, but I also don't really reread books that much, so like twice is still a lot for me. The next question is to read a book with time travel. And I have a book, I don't know if I've actually talked about it on my channel yet, but I read it not this past spring, but the spring before that, and that is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. And I love this book so much. It's basically about in New York City. It's like it starts in present day, and then the main character has to go back in time to collect these artifacts that will help save the magicians. I forget the word. I want to say like magi. Maybe it'll say on here. Magus, whatever. Yeah, so she has to go back in time to the 1920s to collect this, and I remember really loving the love interest too. So the next question in this tag is your favorite 2015 release, and for me that will be The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. And this book is basically about, it's kind of like another like apocalyptic kind of fantasy story, but honestly it's like so There's cat hair in it. It's so like clever and intricate. Like you really have to pay attention to this. So that's why I haven't read the third book in this series yet, because the second one kind of I didn't like as much, but I really want to read the third book in the series. I would definitely need to read recaps though. But yeah, I really love the intricacies of the world and the story. And yeah, if you like fantasy, I would definitely recommend this. But if you're a beginner, I would maybe start off with something less intricate. And the last question in this tag is a book with the main character whose name starts with M. And so at first I was just like, do I even know any books whose name with the main character's name starting with an M? And then I remembered Nevernight by J. Kristoff, which I wanted to talk about in that other question, but now I can talk about it for real. I love Nevernight. It's another like adult fantasy book, and yeah, it's about this girl named Mia Corvair, hence the main character's name starting with an M. And she goes to the school for assassins where she is trying to learn to become an assassin so that she can avenge her family. And she also has a shadow cat, which I love. I have a cat, if you didn't know that. So yeah, I love the humor in this book, and I love Mia as a character. Yeah, I just love the story overall and the other characters. So yeah, I'm hoping to read God's Grave in maybe like December. I had originally like planned to read it during November, but just with all the assignments and all that I have going on in November, I really don't think I'll be able to read it in November, because it's very like, this book took me 3 weeks to read, and that was like before things started getting super crazy with school too. So yeah, I want to be able to like give God's Grave the portion of my attention span that it deserves. So yeah, that's why I may be waiting to read that one, but I love this series. I can't wait to read the rest of it. So yeah, that's all that I have for this video. I think this tag was really fun, and so I'm so glad that Maddie made it. And again, I will have her channel and her original video linked below, so go check that out. And also, if you want to do this tag, I tag you. If you've been looking for a tag and you want to do a tag, I tag you, tag you're it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in my next video. Bye!